This week on the show, Jt Cavey of Erra joins me, and we talk about all the nerdy things we do in our time of boredom.
Worship and tribute, nerd!
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Michael, aka Rickshaw, and welcome to Worship and Tribute Nerd. Today we have an episode of Nerding Out, and this is a quarantine edition, and I have JT here.
What's up?
How you doing, JT?
This little voice crack. What's up?
So
I'm fine. Getting puberty now.
JT's been in a couple of bands, and we were pretty popular on YouTube for doing vocal covers.
Oh God, no, let's
right?
not. Let's not. Yes, I was, but yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, let's talk about Erra. What's been going on with Erra aside from every tour in the world is canceled?
Look at those pit stains. Yeah, well, that was good timing for us because we just finished recording the next record.
Oh, nice.
We were in York, PA with Grant Carson from Think Loud. Used to be known as, well, I think they still go by Atrium Audio because that's them, but they work out of Think Loud Studios, which is the band Live's studio in York.
Oh, cool.
The 90s band.
So new record, is it interfering with like your release schedule or anything like that?
Not yet. We've had to move some stuff back, but we weren't even planning on touring until July anyways. It's not that we didn't want to tour before, just like, things didn't work out prior.
Right.
So what we had scheduled was finish the record, do some rollout stuff, prepare for the release.
Yeah.
And then we have tons of announcements to do. And the timeline's been good so far. Would it really fuck us if this continues until July?
Right.
Which, if that happens...
Dude.
I mean, we're all fucked.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about it.
I mean, it's already like a devastating thing we've never seen in our lives.
Our parents have never seen this. Like, this is first time for everything.
This is
everyone.
Yeah, that's like part of the reason that I'm like, why are some of these people not taking this serious? So you've got you got your new record. I guess it's not interfering that much so far, but like I said, we're all dealing with this. In different ways, but that's why it's so crazy to me. Like all these people are like still like, fuck it, I'm going to Florida. Fucking.
Everything's. I mean, you can travel, but like everything's gonna be closed there too. Even public beaches are closed.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is I miss ordering a beer on draft and sitting at a bar.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not like, I don't live at bars like a lot of people that I know here in Birmingham. Like I've such like a bar crowd friends group. They live going out, and I'm a homebody as it is.
Yeah.
But this is too much for me. And even I just miss like getting that craft beer or whatever that I wanted, and just sitting down and just like eating a fresh burger and fries. I miss French fries really. Because I can't make good fries at home. So I want to go to a bar, just get a tap beer and burger and fries. Like, that's what I'm going crazy about.
I'm being surprisingly strong, but I'm having a tough time because I started a keto diet. I haven't had a French fry since fucking February. You know what I mean? Like I haven't had.
I could order fast food, but it's not the same.
Yeah. I can't, I seriously ordered a breakfast sandwich from Jack in the Box last night and then took the bun off and ate it. And I was like, oh, I miss this bun.
Yeah. They have particularly good buns?
I
never eat Jack in the Box.
They do have sourdough. The little circular bun and like the sourdough. And yeah, I did want to eat it very bad, very bad. I have an unhealthy relationship with food. Bread in particular, so I will take it. I will take it easy.
Anything with starches, pastas.
All right, now we're gonna talk about what kind of nerdy shit are you into? What really fucking floats your boat? Especially
really
now.
Nothing is off the table. I've played D&D with two different dungeon masters over my life. I like anime. video games. I did Warhammer 40K for years. That was the most expensive child hobby I ever had. Jesus. Literally nothing's off the table. I'm trying to think of stuff I'm not really into, and I can't.
Right. So what in particular is like helping you through the self quarantine? Like what's taking your mind off shit?
Just being like, I feel like you could be nerdy about things that aren't classically considered nerdy about.
Yeah.
Because like I know people that are like plant nerds, and I think that's cool as shit.
Right.
Like I got 2 friends, both are girls who are really into plants right now. And it's like I'm like kind of curious about it because I care about the environment. I think vegetation's cool.
Yeah.
In a way. So I think that being nerdy about that stuff's cool. I'm super nerdy about like now that I'm stuck in my house all the time, I've always been pretty organized, but like now I'm being like overly organized and have like this scrutiny about the things in my house, in my room. Like, okay, do I need this?
Right.
How much use does this get? Is this in a spot? Is this stored in my house in a spot that is conducive to its use?
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. I mean, since I've had all this free time at home, I've been like nerding out about just like life efficiency.
Dude, I'm the opposite. Like you.
Yeah, I mean, some people are absolute slobs.
Dude, I like I love consistency. It helps me get things done. And then like when you say I'm not gonna go to work for like a month and a half, I start falling down this like rabbit hole of like TV shows, and then I'm like, oh, I forgot to pay a bill. Oh, I forgot to like,
dude.
So yeah, I've been really into a Star Wars game on PS4. So that's what.
Oh, Jedi Order.
Yeah, the Fallen Jedi Order. Oh my god, it's so good.
I can't play games like that or Bloodborne or Dark Souls because I don't hate myself enough.
I could see why you would say that about
punishingly hard. See,
but Jedi Fallen Order hasn't been that hard to me because I have played Dark Souls and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, you're conditioned. I can't even get to the first boss in Bloodborne without rage quitting. Like, and I'm not terrible at video games, but I don't have patience for games like that.
I feel you.
I want to like Devil May Cry was my type of hack and slash.
Oh, that's a good game though too. So,
yeah. I love all those games, and those can get pretty hard too.
They can, but it's all about style in that game, like stylistic fighting, stuff like that.
The particular mechanics aren't forgiving either in Bloodborne. Like if you miss once, you could that could be your end. If you miss once in Devil May Cry, no big deal.
Right. That's just the thing.
No matter the difficulty
about all those games. The thing about them is like you got to sit up, you got to pay attention. You can't like that's why I give props to all these dudes that like stream games like that and like kill it, because I can't. Like if somebody starts talking to me in the middle of me playing, I'm like shut up, and I'm like dead.
Yeah,
you know,
boss fight, fuck.
Yeah, and like the anxiety has been so high on some of those boss battles because you're like I forgot to save before this spot, and if I lose this, I lose everything. You know what I mean? Like, what are your games like aside from, you said Devil May Cry? Like what is the most commonly played game by you?
Ironically, I went through a I can't play video games anymore stage like over the last couple of months. But then quarantine hit, and now I'm back in it because I have nothing better to do.
Right.
I was playing like Destiny 2 like 9 hours a day.
Yeah.
Like when I wasn't at work, I was on the computer, and it made me kind of hate myself for it. And I think you'll get this. I would play for 9 hours and be like, oh, I still haven't been to the dentist in 3 years.
Yeah.
Like things like that. Things like obvious things like I wanted to do so and so things, and it'll maybe take an hour to do today. But now it's 9 p.m. and I haven't left my room to eat a meal.
Right.
But now I can do that and not feel bad because I know I can't really do anything else.
Right. Yeah. Like
so I was trying to like wean myself off of gaming as much, but it's almost impossible right now.
I could do whatever I want for as long as I want, and whenever I finish whatever I start, it's probably still going to have a lot of time after that. You know what I mean? I'm still going to, like, I could seriously watch anything, sleep when I want, be awake when I want, walk the dog. What, like, I still have a month. You know what I mean? Like, I could binge watch 3 shows and be like, I still have a month left to go. So
I feel that way too, but I mean, I don't have any cash flow right now.
Yeah.
And when I left the studio, I rushed to get home because, we don't pay ourselves to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
In there for 3 weeks, not getting paid. We'll do like PDs, but that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I like left my bank account pretty high and dry to return, only to come home to no work.
Yeah.
So I've just been, oh fuck. So as much as I want to join your club, I'm just like, do I even bother looking for another job right now? Is that even gonna be possible? Should I just wait for my restaurant to open back up? Like, I filed for unemployment. That said, it'll take 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. And I've been checking my emails, and I've never filed for unemployment, so I don't really know how it works. It's just like,
yeah, I've never done that either. So,
taking a day at a time right now.
We're in a super weird state of the world. So I feel like everybody is just like, and the funny thing is too, is like I could still post things online and like nobody gives a shit. It's like, oh no, like it's like 2 likes, 3 likes. And then I could say something like,
I feel like it's a terrible time to post anything right now.
Yeah. I don't know why. Anything. Everybody's online, but nobody's paying attention to anything except for like the other day I asked, what's your favorite Contagion movie? And all these people chimed in, was like, oh, dude, this one, Outbreak, And it was like, I could tell that everybody's watching movies. That's like, seriously, I think most people are doing. They're just like binge watching movies.
And Tiger King.
Yeah, no shit. No shit.
I haven't watched it yet.
I watched most of it. The last 20 minutes, I just kind of was like getting bored with it. But like, I get why people are into it, but at the same time, I'm like, y'all are overhyping shit. Like, we are in the time of overhyping something to the point of like not, like, I don't want to watch it sometimes. I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Like, I thought the Cats, Don't Fuck with Cats, was like a way more interesting thing for people to be addicted to than
my mother said that was amazing, and she recommended for me to watch it. Okay, I'll check that out.
It was insane. It was like watching, like the guy that directed the movie Seven. Like, it was like,
I love David. That's David Fincher. That's my favorite director.
It's like a David Fincher movie, but it's real life. Like, it's insane. What? Yeah. So I would definitely recommend that one. I know you got some time on your hands.
If you want me to nerd about anything, I'll nerd about David Fincher all day.
Dude, let's talk
about Girl. Dude, Gone Girl, Seven, Panic Room, and my most recent favorite thing he's done is Mindhunter. Mindhunter was David Fincher.
You know that
good.
They're delaying that, or it's on hold indefinitely. So
fuck.
Well, that's not
even. I need that 3rd season.
See, that's not even because of the quarantine, though. That's because of apparently David Fincher had so many projects going on that they were like, we're gonna hold off on doing a 3rd season indefinitely. So.
Fuck.
But yes, Mindhunter is amazing. I love that show.
So good.
Yeah, lots of people were like, season 2 wasn't as good. And it's like, I don't know. I was still fucking hypnotized by it.
Okay, here's the thing about season 2. Season 2, Holden like gets shit on the whole season, and you like feel bad for him because in season 1 he's like kind of becomes an asshole.
Yeah.
And so like Holden's like character feels different. Bill Tench is literally the star of season 2. There's so much shit that happens to him and his family. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And while like they do a good job of like leading you on, like to hang on for season 3, I feel like they did a better job of that for season 1.
Right.
But I thought season 2 is still really good.
Yeah.
It's just there was like a shift, and like how the
right.
where your attention was, I guess.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people don't think. I mean, people want to see like, oh, I want to be. That's the thing is with nowadays. It's like everybody wants to come every time. They're like, I go to a theater, I want to fucking watch the best movie I've ever seen, and they're like, oh, I want to pick up a video game. It's going to be the best fucking game I've ever played, and it's when it's good, not maybe the load
And that's
blower.
a really good point. I've never thought of that.
Yeah, it's and with my experience, even sexually, sometimes you can't come, man. Sometimes you got to lay down and say that was great sex either way. You know what I mean? So,
Dude, I feel this way about like making food. Like if it's not going to be amazing, I'm not eating. Like that's how bad it's got. Like it's like I want a breakfast sandwich, but I don't have like what I need for a breakfast sandwich right now.
yeah.
So I'm just going to kill myself instead. Yeah.
But yeah, like I mean, like when it comes to storytelling, when it comes to like, some sort of, series or whatever, like you're gonna have these different focuses and different feels and it's a different chapter, it's a different vibe, and like most people are just like, first one made me come, second one not so much. So
I mean, yeah, of course. I don't think that's a bad thing. If you're there for entertainment or whatever the situation is, like this is actually a perfect time to incorporate a portion of Tom Segura's new stand-up, Ball Hog. He says near the very end, he says, life is about managing your expectations. And I think that is a great example of managing your expectations.
That's true. And, speaking of expectations, this is going to be the prime example of like expectations for nerdy people is like Star Wars. Do you like Star Wars?
I do like Star Wars, but I won't even pretend to be like the fan that I've experienced from most people. Like my roommate's a big Star Wars fan. He's got like memorabilia, all the movies.
Right.
And I love sci-fi. Sci-fi is probably my favorite genre of anything. I don't know. I think Star Wars is really good. I think I like all the movies. I even think I'll even watch like the trio of the bad ones that people don't like.
Right.
I think they're fine.
I think they're fine.
Yeah, they are definitely worse than the other ones.
They fit a certain time. You know what I mean? And and
they're fine.
Yeah. But that's the main one that I see. Like with the expectations, it's like you have all these people, and they are like, Star Wars is my favorite thing in all of the world. And then
I hate the Star Wars fakers, though. I hate the fakers. I hate them.
Yeah. But then they get a new movie and they're like, fuck that. That shit sucked. Fuck that. They never should have made this movie. Star Wars is still my favorite thing in the whole world, though. But I hate the new stuff. Like, what are you doing? Like just because it didn't go the way you wanted it to go doesn't mean it's fucking bad.
The old Star Wars aged horribly. They're so unwatchable.
Yeah.
Oh my god. The acting's fine, but I mean everything else is just like we've come so far with movies and cinematography. It's just like,
and there's goofs.
Jeez.
There's like there's a bunch of scenes they left in that were just kind of like, oh shit, I guess we got to leave that. That's the only take we got.
Classic.
Yeah. So it's kind of like X-Men. Do you like the X-Men movies?
Yeah, I dude, Wolverine's so fucking dude. Logan was so good. Logan was so good. Logan.
Yeah.
All right. Logan. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna try to calm down.
see.
I loved Logan. Is like incredible to me. And I think it's shits on any other X-Men movie ever made.
Okay.
I like all the other X-Men movies. I think all the First Order stuff is really good because I really like the guy that plays. Fucking can't remember his name. Plays Professor X.
Oh, James McAvoy.
Yeah, he's in Wanted. He looks like Jesse from my band.
So you're seeing the First Class, the movie, or whatever?
Yeah, like the newer ones.
Right,
I really like those. I also like the first 3 that they did. I think those are all great. But Logan is not an X-Men movie. Logan is like a sad movie.
Yeah.
Logan's just fucking good. It's a good film.
Yeah.
Like there's barely. It's like less touching on like mutants and like him being Wolverine and this story about like this guy trying to basically protect this girl. And it's just like it's got an X-Men element to it. I just think it's a phenomenal film.
See,
I love it.
See, I like Logan a lot. But I think so. I was going to say that like the X-Men movies to me are something I've always wanted to love. And I think it's like, it's like the Star Wars fan, the typical Star Wars fan. I'm kind of like that with X-Men because I have been an avid reader of X-Men comics since I was in like 7th grade or something like that. So it's like they don't.
I have a question for you, John.
Go ahead. They don't.
Finish.
It's like they don't follow. They've never followed the comics. It's like they've never picked up a comic book and told an X-Men story. Like even to this day, like even Wolverine or even Logan was like, yeah, that was really good. What is this based on? Because it's not based on anything I've ever read. Like if you read the Old Man Logan comic book, it's this insane story about how Wolverine has given up using his claws, and like the Hulk's inbred children are like the ruler of his area, and they come for like
what?
Yeah, dude, it's an insane story. Like they were trying to take the aura of the Old Man Logan comic and kind of do their own thing with it, but when it comes to the Old Man Logan story, it's about how someone like mind controlled Wolverine and like made him think that a bunch of villains were attacking the X-Mansion. So he murdered all of them to protect his friends. And then when he woke up from his rage, he had killed all of his friends. So
oh my God.
Yes. So then all of the villains that teamed up to like straight up infiltrate all of the good guys, like all of the Avengers, all of the X-Men, they just fucking wiped them out in one day. It was unexpected. And so then this is a world where Red Skull rules the country. He like has divided up all the states into different sections and given each other villain like a province, kind of like. So the place where Wolverine lives in this story, it's Hulk's inbred children, and Hulk. They tell the story that Hulk eventually loses his mind because of the gamma radiation, and he like kidnaps his cousin She-Hulk and like rapes her and has children with her, and that's how dark it gets. so
I mean, I don't know if I would necessarily want to watch that movie because that means there's no more X-Men movies after that.
Well, yeah, but I mean that's the Logan that we got at the same time. You know what I mean? There's even like. There's things in that book that's like they do this cross-country trip, and he teams up with Old Man Hawkeye. Old Man Hawkeye's only got one arm at the time, so it's hard for him to even shoot a bow. They take the spider buggy cross-country. They fucking run into a T-Rex that is like possessed by the Venom symbiote. Like there's all sorts of crazy shit in that comic. Like the Red Skull puts on the Captain America costume and fights Wolverine and brags about how he killed Captain America and like shit like that. So I'm like, damn. Logan was good, but if I saw the Old Man Logan story on the big screen, I would fucking lose my mind. You know what I mean? Like you get everything in that comic. So
all right, here's my question to that.
Yeah.
So do you also do the same for like the rest of Marvel and DC?
So when it comes to Marvel, like I really enjoy those movies. I think they're fucking phenomenal, and I think that they take a story and they keep lots of the most important elements and retell the story. You know what I mean? As to where with the X-Men movies, like even Bryan Singer filming the original X-Men movies told them they were not allowed to have X-Men comics on set. So that's always been what's kind of like heartbreaking to me. Like you can't make a Lord of the Rings movie and go, yo, if I find a Lord of the Rings book in here, you know, you're fired because we're trying to create our own vision. It's like, no, you should at least keep the spirit of what you're trying to recreate. You know what I mean? Right.
I wonder if it's easier to translate books to movies because just by nature, books are longer and they have more detail to like fill in, like taking a 1,000-page book.
Yeah.
And making it into a 2-hour film is probably much harder than it is for taking a comic book. It depends. I guess it depends how long the comic book is.
I mean,
and adapting that into a movie because you can fill in more stuff with your own creativity.
Yeah. I think that lots of books have to be dumbed down.
Anything that's based off of a comic. Well, not just that. I feel like the reverse of why people are tougher on movies that are based off comics are more diversive. Is that the right word?
Divisive?
Like that's like creates a rift in the fan bases and like opinions, you know?
Yeah.
Like I kind of like that's why I was going to ask the question originally. I'm like, as an avid comic book reader, do movies ruin it for you? Is that a common thing? Because I don't read comics.
Yeah.
And I know that with anything that's based off of a book, that's a movie, and vice versa for comics. It's very, you know, like everybody's got an opinion on it. I wonder if that's the same for you.
It's subjective, really. Like I think that Marvel is doing the best job at adapting anything.
Is there anything that you've discovered that it's worthy of a movie?
Like,
you know?
Okay, so
like Deadpool or something.
So here's the thing: is like here's the big thing that is the perk for Marvel. Like, yes, they do adapt a lot of things and put it on the big screen, and they do it better sometimes. Lots of people might disagree because like there's like these elite nerds that are just like, yo, fuck this, yo, fuck girl, you know, fuck girl Thor, fuck, you know what I mean, like and stuff like that. And I'm like, yo, as long as the story's good, I don't fucking care, you know. And so with Marvel, they've to me made me love Captain America. Never cared for him in the past. Like I would see him in X-Men comics and be like, yo, Captain America's pretty dope. But then whenever Chris Evans, we got the Winter Soldier, I was like, Captain America's badass. And I never felt that in the comics. And then also like Guardians of the Galaxy, I knew it was a comic whenever the movie came out, but they made me love Guardians of the Galaxy through the movies. And then I would check out the comics after that. So
interesting.
And that does not happen with like DC or any of the X-Men movies. Like, you know what I mean? It's like they've never shown me something that I'm like, oh fuck, I've never heard of that comic or that character, you know. It's so I think that Marvel is definitely doing the best, despite elite nerds saying they're not doing it right. Spider-Man's just Iron Boy, and I'm like,
dude, I'm also I'm like frustrated with all the Spider-Mans. There's 4 of them. There's 4 different Spider-Mans now. We have 4.
Right. So which Spider-Man's your favorite then?
I don't know anymore. Well,
I still love Toby, but yeah.
I think Tom is a great Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But okay, here's the thing though: is Spider-Man supposed to be a kid or like a middle-aged adult?
Well, okay,
because if he's supposed to be a kid, then Tom is the best one.
Yeah. See, this is why. Okay, so this is why some elite fans are, you know, go crazy about certain.
Who's the original Peter Parker? What's his name? Toby
Maguire was like the most. Yeah. The original big screen Sam Raimi version of the character, you know.
Well, it's funny because like if you like compared to the other Spider-Mans now, Tobey Maguire is like a huge pussy.
Well, that's like the best Peter Parker is like some dude who's
is
like
that
wimp.
accurate though?
Yeah, he's pretty wimpy.
I don't know anymore.
So I mean, in the comics, yes, he does start as a teenager. He's like coming out of high school, but that was, you know, the 60s. You know, whenever that was like happening in the comic books. So yeah. Wow. Yeah, we do. The Spider-Man we know in the comics up to this point is, you know, probably supposed to be around in his 30s, like late 20s to 30s or whatever. But I'll take a pass on getting Tom Holland, a great actor, to fit him into a story where, you know, he's
like in high school or something,
yeah,
right?
And then if they continue just kind of like growing him, you know, every movie it's like a couple years later, and then we eventually see a Spider-Man who knows what the fuck is up as Spider-Man. That's great. I want to see that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
that would be cool. I mean, they kind of did that with Tobey Maguire because he was in school too, but
right.
He just looks like an adult the whole time. Yeah, so it's like there's no way he's passing as he just doesn't ever have this like I'm in school kind of vibe. Like I loved him. I always thought he was the best Spider-Man for a long time, but then I started to see the other ones. And I was like, yeah, they're honestly pretty good too. Even Andrew Maguire I thought was great.
Andrew Garfield.
I don't really. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. But
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, I think they're all right. I think Andrew Garfield was like too cool, and that was the kind of problem with him.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Like he's too pretty.
Because Peter Parker's supposed to be okay. So Spider-Man 2, the Sam Raimi one back in the day, Toby Maguire, right, with Doc Ock.
Mm-hmm.
That's like known as one of the best comic book movies of all time because you get to see Spider-Man. It sucks. It sucks to be Spider-Man, and it sucks to be Peter Parker at the same time. And like you get to see how it's hard for him to manage that, and that's like what Spider-Man is all about. You know what I mean? It's like he's trying so hard, and he has to make the right decision, but sometimes it just gets to him, and it fucks with him.
Right.
And that's seriously what the heart of Spider-Man was about. You know, like of course now it's fucking 2020, and we've got all these weird stories to try and change things up a little bit, but that's part 2 was like showing us what's up with being, with a Spider-Man movie. So that's a thing we haven't really gotten with Tom Holland's version of the character yet,
Right.
Like we see it's, he's like, oh, it sucks because I'm in school, but then it's like there's no real repercussions.
He doesn't have like real conflict.
Yeah.
Real hardship.
Yeah, except you've seen their most recent one, right?
I don't know if I have.
Don't
spoil.
Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Oh, which one is? What happens in that one? Is that when they're in Italy?
Yeah, Mysterio.
Yeah. I thought that was a weird role for what's his face? Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah, you thought that was a weird role?
Yeah, I didn't love him in that role.
Oh, really?
And I love him as an actor. I just thought that was like an odd choice for him. Like he did a fine job. I don't know. Just something about it.
Maybe he's like your hero mostly. Because sometimes you want to see certain people as the hero and as the villain, and it was definitely weird.
No. I don't mind that he was a villain because he's awful in Nightcrawler, like awful as in like amazingly bad.
Right.
Wait, that still is. He's amazing as his role as a bad guy in Nightcrawler,
as like a weirdo,
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of here kind of guy.
Maybe. And I know he could be more than just a weirdo too. He's great in everything he does usually, but
so yeah,
I don't know.
That was like the real.
It's almost like too shallow for him. Is that? I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, I thought it was pretty good though, because because I knew Mysterio was a bad guy, and I knew that in the comic he's like, he's got this special effects thing going on. So that's how he in the comic. That's how he does illusions and stuff, because he's the special effects guy and he works in the movies and stuff. So I knew something was going on. I was like, they're showing him like he's a good guy. I don't think that's going. But then Jake Gyllenhaal like convinced me that he was a good guy while I was watching the movie. And
you forgot.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? Maybe he is a good guy in this movie. Maybe they're just flipping the script around, And then whenever I thought that in my brain, that was the scene where they revealed he's the bad guy. And I was like, okay, all right. So I was like, they got me. So that's why I appreciated it a lot. Just thinking.
I need to rewatch it, I guess. I don't know.
But yeah, that was the only thing
I did like that movie.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's happened to Tom Holland's Spider-Man that's like actual what the fuck, I'm in danger, is when they reveal his identity. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that if they do what has been rumored to be going on, then they will eventually make him like the fucking greatest Spider-Man to ever live. So
yeah, I'm on the Tom Holland train. I like him a lot.
Yeah, he's quippy and handsome.
He's quippy. He's charming. Yeah. He's got that like. He'll age appropriately for the role because he looks young, but he's like probably 23 now, I think.
Yeah,
or he's around that age. So as the years go on and he's actually older, he can still feel like the younger Spider-Man.
Right, and
it'll like make more sense.
like, you know, like I said, like if they keep aging him a little bit, and then eventually we see like the fucking Spider-Man that lives in New York swinging around New York, fucking people come to him for tech. People come to him for science problems. That's where it's
Is that how he's portrayed in the comics?
Yeah.
Was he like more of a scientist?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
In the comic, he's smart as fuck. Like,
Because I haven't seen that yet.
so in the comic, he makes his own webbing. He makes his own suits. You know what I mean? Like, so
Really?
yeah. So they're like, they're really trying to like grow him that much. Like they're like, oh, Iron Man's gonna teach him, and then eventually he's gonna. No, he's not gonna be so. Because like, you know, you see his character now, and he's kind of like, I don't know if I want to be Spider-Man. I don't know. You know,
Right.
he went to fucking Italy and put his he like left his suit at home. Like that's not.
Yeah.
It's not the comic Spider-Man. So eventually we're going to get there, hopefully. Hopefully. I'm like getting all excited and shit talking about Spider-Man.
I like your hoodie, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Classic. Are those characters from 2 or 3?
Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3.
Sega? Was that Sega?
It was for both. It was like Super Nintendo and Sega. So,
Okay.
Yeah. This was like
I never owned a Sega. I had like 1 or 2 friends that had Sega, and I always thought like that was like the dark horse at the time. But the games were good.
They did have some good games. I was always upset about the 3 buttons. You know what I mean? Like when it first
Yeah,
came
I didn't
out.
like that either. I hate the controller.
I was like, dude, 3 buttons? Like, how am I supposed to play a fighting game with 3 buttons? Like, it's like most games are like high punch, low punch, or high kick, low kick. At least 2 kicks and 2 punches, and I'm like, 3 buttons? The fuck?
Well, if you hold the right bumper, it augments the left kick to a high kick.
I don't know.
If you hold start, it turns the punches into kicks, and then you could use the kick. So, you're like, what? No. And they're like, well, Sega's selling.
Make it correct.
They're like, we're selling a 6-button one for $20, which is insane at the time. $20? Fuck. So I'm gonna bring it back to what I was gonna say about X-Men, because we're gonna get hyped for this. I want everyone to know this. So like I said, the Fox. Okay, so whenever there was a point in time when Marvel was going bankrupt, comics were not cool. This was like, you know, a little over a decade or something ago. They're going bankrupt. They're like scrambling to save their company. So they get approached by a bunch of different movie companies. Fox is like, we want your #1 selling comic, X-Men. So Marvel sells off their movie rights of X-Men and Fantastic Four to Fox.
Oh, I forgot about. I really liked Fantastic Four.
Really? That's pretty sweet. I
swear to God, your response was like, "Did you though?" I did.
No, I
thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was campy and it was a '90s movie, but I liked it.
Yeah, it's older. Yeah. I like. Was that 99? Was the first one?
Something
around?
like that. Yeah, something like that.
It's pretty old.
Mm-hmm. So then we got Fox. They bought the movie rights of Fantastic Four and X-Men, and then Sony bought up the rights to Spider-Man. And those were like the biggest purchases, right? So then after that, Disney bought Marvel. So then Kevin Feige has worked on like every comic book movie. He was there for all the X-Men movies, the originals. He was there. He was on set for Spider-Man. He's just one of those guys that's been in the system working on comic book movies.
Right.
Whenever Disney bought Marvel, they were like, hey, what do you guys think about making your own movies? And they were like, well, shit, we would love to do that. We just never really had the means. And Disney was like, well, now you do. So then that's when they started doing Iron Man, and that movie was like put together last minute, and it was like mostly improv by all the actors involved. Like
Iron Man?
Yes. Iron Man Part 1.
But it's so good.
Yeah. And that was like, they put pretty much all of their eggs in that basket, and they were like, if Iron Man does not succeed, we're going to have to just sell off the rest of our movie or our characters to different movie companies to make money. But then Iron Man was a hit. and they were like, and Kevin Feige was like, well, now it's time to execute my master plan of like this movie universe that he'd always dreamed about. Apparently, Kevin Feige had always had this dream, and every movie company he worked with, he brought up like, yo, just like in the comics, we need to make this movie, this movie, this movie, and have them all intersect and live in the same world. And every movie company was like, haha, you're a dipshit. And now
they're doing it.
Yeah, and now Marvel is the #1 movie company in Hollywood. So
really?
But yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes, they are like,
that makes sense.
Like every movie they put out is like a fucking like a good percentage of them are like billions of dollars, you know, but lots of them.
I mean, if you, what was it? Avengers is one of the Avengers has some box office record.
Oh yeah, like I think Endgame is the biggest movie of all time. So so now we're at this point where Disney bought Fox, right? Fox was making no money anymore, apparently, and also with that new Dark Phoenix movie. Did you ever see that? The one with Sophie Turner, the chick from Game of Thrones and stuff like that.
No, I'll watch it. It wasn't really on my radar. Like I saw it, previews for it.
It was real bad. Like
really,
yeah,
damn.
Like so bad it was like comical. So like they lost so much money. Like the thing is, like those movies were filmed and then Disney bought them, and then by the time that movie was about to come out, Disney was like, well, I guess, you know, this is all money for us, you know, like the movie's already done, the movie's already paid for, so they were like, fuck it, we'll do it. So they put it out. It made like laughable money because everybody was just like not into it. So now we're at this point in time where they're taking a break from the X-Men movies. So the next thing that's going to happen is like Disney's waiting for the Fox hype to die a little bit, the Fox X-Men to die a little bit, and then they're rebooting them in the MCU. So whatever version of the X-Men we're going to get is like Marvel Studios, you know, doing it. So we're going to get like the X-Men. We're going to get like their real costumes and like their real personas. You know what I mean?
Oh, with like the bright yellow Wolverine and shit?
I mean, hopefully. I know that some people think that's weird, but I'm like, give me that. You know what I mean? Or the orange, the brown and orange Wolverine suit. That one's sick too.
Yeah, but like some of those those costumes were created by people who were drawing in like what, the 60s?
Okay, I understand that, but
they didn't age well.
But how does Captain America look in the movies?
Great.
Exactly. How does Iron Man look in the movies?
Great.
These are all costumes.
Okay.
These are costumes that started in the 60s and evolved until now. So
okay. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about seeing Wolverine that yellow and blue. What is it? Yellow and blue.
See, that's where
I always hated that outfit. That was my least favorite one.
I can understand that. But the black leather, what is that? What is that?
I got used to it. Well, it's like the modernized, like, oh, we all got new uniforms, like going to like your new private school, you know, type of shit. It's like, whatever. He's still Wolverine.
Right. Now I see where you're coming from.
Look like a clown. Honey, you see our son? You see the way he's dressed?
He lacks yellow.
That's what I'm going to feel like. On Warped Tour, I think it was 2013 was my like first major tour with Texas in July. One of my stage outfits was a sleeveless cutoff of a white Captain America shirt. It was just a white cutoff with the shield.
Yeah, that's dope.
It sounds dope in practice, but when I look back on pictures, not as dope.
I know that my internet's not working the greatest right now, and I apologize.
Sorry.
I feel like I'm like on the edge of the Wi-Fi, capabilities.
I'm on the edge. The edge. You want me to nerd out for you real quick?
Yeah.
YouTube's like suggestions algorithm is so fucking weird sometimes, but when they get it right, they destroy it.
Mm-hmm.
Like when they get it right, I am on YouTube so deep. And when I get down like a rabbit hole of like, whenever like a new tech conference comes out and they talk about like new Wi-Fi protocols or new updates to USB protocols or anything like that, holy shit. And I looked up like 2 videos about new wireless AX, and now my entire suggestions are about like different tech YouTubers you like using different like Asus products or whatever. I'm just like, I already know all this knowledge, but I can't help myself. I got to click on it. Maybe there's something else.
Can you say anything about things to do to stay mentally sane during this quarantine?
I mean, I think it's a good idea for everybody to do anything that they said they were going to do and actually do it. For instance, I've been cooking more. I mean, I'm so bad about... I think this just speaks for the type of employment that I have. When you work in like food industry, you love to not eat until you go to work because it's usually free.
Yeah.
So naturally, when I'm working at the bar, I wake up at like 11, have a light breakfast, and then when I go to work at 2 or 3, that's when I actually eat a first meal. And maybe my second meal is also at work. So I'm terrible about buying groceries, which is ironic. It's probably even harder to buy groceries now. But if you can buy groceries still and it's not a big deal and you're stocking up, teach yourself how to cook. Super helpful. Saves you so much money.
That's true.
Yeah, you think anything that if you're a good person, all the money you've been spending out on eat, 20% of it goes to your server anyways.
Right.
So,
well,
you could be saving a shitload of money cooking at home.
Well, we hope that goes to their server.
Question.
Okay.
Was Darkman a comic?
I think it was a comic at one point. I don't
know the movie I'm talking about?
Yeah.
With,
I actually
cult film?
own Darkman because it's a Sam Raimi film.
I own Darkman as well.
That's like one of Sam Raimi, the guy who directed.
Why is that sound familiar?
He directed like the first Spider-Man movies with Toby Maguire.
No fucking way.
Yeah, he also directed like Evil Dead and like stuff like that. So that's why
I didn't know that.
There is a scene in Darkman where he is like dangling from a helicopter, and then there's a car, and he starts walking on the car, and that's the old like Chevy or whatever that they used in Evil Dead, and he tries to fit it into every movie that he directs.
I love that.
Yeah. Sam Raimi.
That's cool.
Actually got hired to direct Doctor Strange 2 Into the Multiverse of Madness.
I still have not seen Doctor Strange. I don't know why.
I mean, you've seen Endgame and Infinity War, though, right?
I mean, he's in Ragnarok.
I mean, he's in like lots of them. I feel like his standalone movie is like an origin story, but
I love origin stories.
Yeah, it's really good.
Is it good?
Yeah, I think it's really good. But you know, if you've seen the bigger level Avengers movies where he's in them, then you're already getting what you need. You know what you need to know him. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, Sam Raimi is hired on for Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness. So that's going to be amazing.
I could talk to you all day about this bullshit. I'm sorry.
No, keep going. I'll just fucking chop it up.
Do you like horror too?
Yeah, I love horror movies.
Do you like horror?
Yeah.
All right. Vincent Bennett from Acacia Strains, huge horror fan, but he likes old school. He seems like old school stuff. Mm-hmm. Like when we toured with them, he gave me his hard drive. So he's like, take that off, take this, watch that. Like Brain Dead or something was one of them. Mm-hmm. They're like very goofy, like almost like 90s and older horror. Mm-hmm. They're strange, real strange, and they're all really gory. Mm-hmm. He likes I don't know if that's like his bread and butter, like almost the comedy side of horror. But I like thriller horror, like eerie, make your like not like nightmares because of something like too many jump scares. Like I think the Conjuring series is really good, just great movies. But I think the stuff that like is really fucked is if you're watching, you're just like, oh fuck that.
So do you
like Saw, Hills Have Eyes, Hostel?
Yeah.
It doesn't do it. Like, they're fine. They don't do it for me though. Like movies that like fuck with me. Like, all right, perfect example. I watched a movie last night. I hated the ending, but I thought the movie was phenomenal. It's a foreign film on Netflix called The Platform.
Okay.
Watch it.
Yeah.
It's short.
Really?
It's real short. It's like an hour and 25.
Nice.
The ending is awful, but it's still, I think it's still worth the watch because it's about this movie where this guy voluntarily goes to this type of like weird type of prison, and the prison is like I don't want to give it away, but it's like it's what it seems like hundreds of concrete levels. It's a square, and the center of the room is also a cutout square, and a platform goes from the top floor all the way down every like what seems 30 seconds to a minute of food. So the first platform gets all the food, and whatever they don't eat, it goes down to the next platform. But what these people do is they like fuck with the food after they're done. They like spit on it, or they like ruin it, or they just walk on the table. So if you're like on floor 115, not only is there no food, but there's like shit or like a dead body on the platform. There's no rules in this prison.
Yeah.
This movie is fucked, and I love it.
Nice.
That's what I like.
And
So like Seven, amazing. American Psycho, amazing. I like movies like that, like psychological shit.
we've been so with horror, a couple of movies that have been brought up a lot lately.
Hereditary.
Yeah, I was gonna say Hereditary. Have you seen Midsommar?
I didn't like Midsummer.
Did you think
Midsummer tried too. They tried too hard.
You think it was?
They tried too hard to be weird.
Yeah.
Like it just, I don't know. Like the sex scene is so strange.
Yeah.
It's like it's past eerie. It goes straight to weird.
Mhm.
Like I don't know. I was just like, what the fuck is this? Like, what is happening? I didn't think it was bad.
I liked it. I didn't love it.
Some of it's really cool.
Yeah, I didn't love it enough to watch it a bunch of times or whatever. I know a couple people that have, but it's out there, and I appreciate that. I appreciate them taking horror to a different level, to a different setting. You know what I mean? Like, it's like they're taking like I know it's like kind of a religious, but it's like a foreign religious horror.
Oh, it's culty.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know.
Ari, what's his name? What's the director's name?
Aster.
So read his bio, read his work history. You will be super surprised.
Really?
Because it's almost barren.
Yeah.
Hereditary was his first big break.
Right.
Like the work he did before that, like is not almost non-existent.
Yeah.
So I love that about him.
Yeah, there's been this like, there's been this common thing in movie making that like they want to throw a bunch of money at like indie filmmakers just because they know they don't have to have a big budget. Good. Yeah.
Yeah. There's so much creativity out there.
And horror, like the amount of money horror movies makes compared to how much it costs to make, it's insane.
Dude, people love bad horror. It's like a thing.
Yeah.
Dude, if you're going to watch a purposefully bad movie, horror is the best to watch.
Right.
Hands down.
So speaking...
I guess comedy too, but like horror for sure.
Yeah. Speaking of movies, like amongst the quarantine, like, they're doing this thing where they're releasing a bunch of movies that are in theaters on your home platform.
Oh yeah, Prime Cinema or whatever it's called.
Yeah, and one of the
I still want to pay $20. Yeah. I just wait till it comes out on Blu-ray and own it. For the same amount.
That's true.
Not in a rush. My IMDb watch list is pages.
Like, so the best movie that has come out on that I saw in theaters and still had to rent again was The Invisible Man. Like, that movie was so good, and it was like so intense. Don't know about it?
I don't think so. Is it like a remake of Hollow Man?
I mean, kind of. You know what I mean? It's just kind of that concept, like just pretending like we've never seen any concept like that. You know what I mean? But it was really intense and it was really awesome. And I encourage anyone to see it. If you've got $20 to spend, it was fucking amazing. But yeah, in closing, you know, guys, don't go outside. Don't go and party with your friends, you know, like.
I think the biggest thing is know which of your friends are not taking it seriously and don't hang out with them. Like I'm hanging out with like 3 people, but I know they're only coming to and from like one spot.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to not interact with anyone at all. Like we're delicate creatures. We need mental interaction. Like if we stayed in a room by ourselves completely the whole fucking time, we would just kill ourselves.
I think naturally that's how that works, honestly.
Yeah.
Isolation just leads to that.
Right. By the end of this, I'm going to be fucking levitating shit with my mind. So I'm just saying.
Is that the payoff? Oh, what am I doing? Fuck. Should have been practicing.
But all right. It's been an honor to talk nerdy shit with you, bud.
Likewise.
It's been a long time, and I hope everything goes well for you. I hope everything picks right back up where you left off.
Hey, likewise. I know you're going through some shit too.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, closing words. Let's try closing words again, and let's make it the last one. Any advice on how to stay sane during this quarantine?
I mean, go outside. You can still go outside.
Yeah, you could take the dog on a walk,
dude. Yeah, and you know what's cool? I'm such a homebody. Like I love nothing more than just sitting in my super sick gaming chair. But yeah, like I just feel you'll feel better about being stuck inside after you just go outside and like take like a 20-minute walk or just like be outside for anything, whether you need to. Like I got a fire pit out front, so I've been collecting just like debris from the yard every now and then, just keeping it like my dry wood pile, stuff like that. I gotta walk the trash up the hill to the dumpster and shit like that.
Yeah,
but I've been outside way more than I normally have just because of this, and I like really like it. Mm-hmm. Like I'm about to go take a walk probably or do something. I just need to get out of the house. Like you can still leave the house. I know people are like on lockdown, but you're like allowed to like take a walk around your neighborhood. Yeah. Like it's not, you're not going to go to jail for that.
Right. All right. Well, you heard it here. JT, go take a fucking walk if you're starting to feel loopy. Maybe.
Breathe, get some uncirculated fart air out of your house front door and take a walk outside.
All right, guys.
Or just sit on your porch with a book, you know, read a book.
Guys, if you like the video, you know, leave us a comment. We want to know, like, what kind of guests do you think we should have next? You know what I mean? Like, I want to get more guests. I want to get more than just music. You know, the thing is, I just don't know anybody that does, like, movies or television or anything like that, you know?
So many musicians are nerds.
All right, leave us a comment. Tell us what's up. Tell us if you enjoyed the shit. And thank you, JT. And I'll see you later. And I'll see you later, nerds. See you later.
Later, nerds.